Hey guys, I don't know if I waited long enough. Tiffany always yells at me when I start.
I'm going to yell at him. It's fine.
I know, the thing goes live. I have to start talking, but guess what? This is Tiffindale Rescue Realtors starting off 2023 somewhere down the road with just some tips and tricks for you today.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
had
good.
a busy week.
I have had coffee, so I'm good.
Oh, yeah. I feel like this year's kind of starting off a little sooner.
I think this year's starting off a little sooner too, which is kind of that gives you some positive vibes out there for sure. Read a article yesterday an agent sent to, actually I think she sent it to you too.
Both of us,
about, I'll say Zestimates, but in the bigger picture, automated valuation models and how the computers generate values for your house, or your home, your piece of property. And I've been using automated valuation models for a long time because I worked a lot in the REO foreclosure business, and they used to use that all the time. That was a great tool for them, but they were looking at 10,000 properties
We have a lot
to
more.
purchase or more. No. So the bank goes, hey, I'm going to buy these 10,000 properties. About what are they worth? Well, so if it's $10,000 off here, $20,000 off there, that number balances it out.
It doesn't really matter because you're buying quantities, so it kind of, you said,
they
it balances
balance.
it out. Yeah.
But when you're using an automated valuation model or a Zestimate, that $25,000 that it could be off one way or another, it makes a really big deal to me.
And I've seen some where it's even a bigger gap than $25,000.
Oh yeah, that's a random kind of number.
Yeah.
That was just what I pulled out. But those kind of things in technology they've been around for a long, long time, and those are really good tools. But when you're an individual homeowner, this article went on to say, this was on Yahoo Business, went on to say, but when it does matter to you, if it's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, $35,000 off, you better call a realtor, someone that's familiar with your area and can bring you accurate data on your specific property.
Which is actually a huge win for us as realtors because we've been battling this Zestimate thing for over a decade. And it's something that we've all had to learn how to adapt and talk to our sellers and our buyers about, like, okay, this isn't accurate, and going through a whole spiel and learning how to talk to people about that. But it's definitely something that's really nice for us to have in our back pocket that's like, look, here's an article on it. We can share it too on our page because it's something that's really important to have back you up because sometimes these systems do fail us.
Yeah, and just have some professional eyes on what you actually have.
Yeah.
So technology's been around forever. And
it's continually getting better.
Absolutely. And
to beta test it.
It starts up there with those automated valuation model kind of things, which is one of the first real technologies that came out even before the public knew it. And it goes all the way down to us today, which is what we're going to kind of be talking about.
Yay.
Tiffany loves that kind of stuff. That's a big deal.
I like tech stuff.
And actually I do too. I pretend like I don't sometimes.
Dale's actually pretty tech savvy. He really is.
Kinda am, yeah.
I actually, I did an event yesterday, and he's a younger guy in the industry, and we were kind of jabbing at him, and I made a comment about reels, and he's like, you know what reels are? I was like, kid? Kid?
I know what reels are.
Yes, I do. I can do them effectively-ish.
Yes, you can do them effectively. That's the period of that sentence. You don't have to add an as anything to
Rude.
it. It's just
Not that old.
And social.
Compared to him, I am.
Social media, Reels, Facebook, Instagram, what are those other ones? TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Oh my goodness, so many, LinkedIn, et cetera. And as we have more and more of those, some of them are more popular than others. I know a lot of you young folk out there think Facebook is dead. Guess what? It's still the largest social media platform on the market.
And something that we need to know as realtors is the two number one platforms for real estate, and that's for actually getting in touch with your consumers, are Facebook and Instagram. So don't feel like you have to really get into, oh my God, I need to know all of this stuff right away. And it can become a full-time job just worrying about social media.
Absolutely.
And like Dale said, shorts are on the way up.
That's YouTube Shorts.
YouTube.
You got some other things. You got to get a YouTube channel. I think we played with that just a little bit.
Yeah, if you guys want to subscribe, just throwing that in there. Subscribe.
There you go. Oh, that was shameless plug. That's
shameless
good.
Plug.
Also, with that other thing. Oh yeah, TikTok. So I'm not sure how good TikTok is personally for business, but I tell you, if I go in there and start watching videos, I'm going to watch 10 little videos, and I end up staying there for 2 hours.
It's a time suck.
It is a time suck.
It is a time suck.
The most addicting thing in the whole wide world.
You really do need to kind of set a time limit, and I don't really even play with TikTok because of that. I've learned that on Instagram Reels and Facebook, I can just get out quickly. But the way my phone is set up, or maybe it's the way the app is set up, I'll hit back just to get out of the app, and it'll just take me back to a different reel or TikTok, and then you just get sucked in it again. You're like, oh, here's a different one. Like, you have to hit back like 3 times to get out of it.
Yeah, TikTok really is addicting. Quite fun, good for entertainment, probably good for business somehow in there.
And that's why it's good for business, because it is a time suck, and people do just end up scrolling, and you get addicted, and you just next reel, next reel, next reel.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to throw your business in with those reels and make sure you're learning how to do these things, because reels are more, they get more views than just images on Instagram and Facebook. So make sure you're using them.
So let's take it back a little bit, because I'm going to let you talk.
Okay.
We're going to talk mostly about Facebook and Instagram because they are the behemoths in the industry still and don't really have any type of slowing down.
No.
First of all, what does social media do for you as a realtor?
So for me as a realtor, I mean, we really need to kind of get back to the basics here, because where's our largest base of consumers? It's our sphere of influence, right?
Yep.
And we're already connected with them on Facebook. And our sphere of influence today is a lot bigger than our sphere of influence was when Dale first started 30 years ago, because we have the connections of things like Facebook and Instagram. It's not, I'm not trying to be all rude, but you had email, so it's like, and then you could maybe send somebody an email, but now you can.
I didn't have email when I started. Maybe I did.
Yes, you did.
But no one used it.
Okay.
It was a long
fax.
time ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you could send them a fax or a snail mail letter. But now I can know what's going on in Dale's life without even talking to Dale.
Yes.
And we have so many friends like that on social media, and it's important to stay in front of them and for them to go, oh, you know what? I do know who a realtor is when it comes time for that. Now, you don't want your social media to be entirely about that. There's a kind of mathematical way that they've actually figured it out. It's kind of like a commercial. You still want to post your personal life. You want to post your kids, your animals,
dogs. Yeah.
And just let them know what's going on. And then every once in a while, I think it's every like 3 or 4 posts, you throw in a commercial.
Yeah.
Which is something about
your
business.
Let me clarify something. You might disagree with me on this. Social media, though, does not take the place of lead generation and prospecting.
Absolutely not.
It strengthens what you do.
It does.
And it's an easy tool to strengthen what you do already in your lead generation and your prospecting.
Yeah.
I think there are even ways you could use it if you're a door knocker. That's proactive prospecting. Mm-hmm. With your social media, that's passive prospecting. And it strengthens your position as the article referred to, the real estate expert of your area.
Yes.
So
it's a tool. It's a system. It's a tool. And it's something that you do really need to use. And I mean this because I actually had an agent reach out to me because he's got a listing. I photographed it, and he was asking me on tips and ways to get more exposure. And I said, you need to get it on social media. And I know that sounds crazy, but especially if we have a lot of friends that are realtors, at least getting it out there for them to see too. So there's 2 different ways you could do it. Number 1, you're staying in front of your sphere of people that are not realtors to get acknowledgement that you're a realtor and they might use you. But number 2, it can help you actually sell a listing, because they might not know about it, if they don't have a search set up or anything, but they may see it and go, you know what, this might work for my client. That's not specifically in their search criteria, but it may work. And so
absolutely,
there's a lot of reasons to use it, but it does not replace getting in straight connection with people like we were talking about with networking and community involvement.
Right. So what do you think, and I think you do a really good job at social media personally as well as for us.
I try.
I think always, I'm pretty hard-nosed when it comes to, hey, excuses only satisfy those who make them. But sometimes you do the best you can with the time you've got and all of that. And this stuff takes some time to learn, and you've got to experiment. You've got to experiment.
Well, and one of the things that reading Atomic Habits, one of my favorite quotes was, competency is in its context. It's highly effective in its context. So the only way you're going to become competent in these things is to play with them. And I shared something recently, like the first time you do anything, you're gonna be terrible at it. I mean, the first time that I took a picture, it wasn't good. I was ready to just turn my camera back in and quit and be done with it. But after years of honing in on the experience and working on it, I am very quick, I'm very effective. I can do things in Canva in like less than 3 minutes that might take somebody that doesn't really know it very well 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, so you mentioned something really cool, Canva. So let's go back a minute. How should an agent use Reels and Facebook? They relate, they merge together, I know that. What kind of stuff should they be putting out there? Should they be posting house tours? Should they be posting 17 times a day? What do you think personally?
I think the magic,
and then we're coming back to
post
Canva.
On Instagram or social media about 4 times a day. That's personal and business mix. But there are tools out there that can actually help make it easier for you to know what to post. Now, you can just do a straight post, find like a listing of the day, that you want to share. And that can just be something you do with photos. You can do, if you have an open house coming up, obviously that's something you can post. But if you go into some things, there are already templates laid out. Like, I will share on here some of my favorite apps. One of them is Ripl, and it kind of does videos, and you can create stories, and you can create reels in there.
You keep jumping off my topic.
I know, because it's so hard. What was your question? Let me go back.
My question was, what should they be posting?
They should, but that's what I'm talking about. Those actually have content that you can go in there, and it'll post like, tired of renting? Contact me to buy.
So what she's talking about right now actually is technically Ripl.
Yes.
They have lots of pre-made templates and things for real estate. And even in their free version, or do you have to pay for it?
I pay for it, so I don't really know if it's in the free version. I think they have.
I think the free version, if they still do a free version, might have a little bit. The paid version in Ripl has a lot more.
Has a lot more.
And it's amazing because a lot of their stuff, if I'm not mistaken, has these templates, and you can put videos, and it's video based more than photograph based.
And there's some that I don't even have to do anything with because I've already set it up with my logo, and it creates a video for me. All I have to do is download it and then post it to Instagram.
So look at Ripl. That's RIPL. It is an app. Certainly a great tool.
I'll throw a little logo up here for it.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep going down Tiffany's path, not my questions path. She also mentioned Canva a while ago. Canva to me is more of a graphic design picture thing, more than video. But I will say,
it has video now.
I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she basically said, anything you can do in that big behemoth Adobe Photos, Adobe everything, Adobe Video you can do it in Canva.
You can do it in Canva. And guys, there's so many apps out there that are free or that are usable. And I know how to use Photoshop, and I know how to use, Lightroom and all these other things, but I'm going to tell you right now, from a graphics design point of view, it's so much easier to just use these templates because you have a starting point. You don't have to start from zero. And once you get the lay of the land and learn how to use them, you could set up a color portfolio so that your colors are already in there.
That's in the paid version.
That's in the paid version, but you can do that. But you can also, once you have things that you've uploaded, like if you've uploaded your logo in there, it's already right there, easy to find in your library. So it's super easy to use these things, and they're constantly coming out with new things. If you want to find something, type it in the search bar and it's right there. I use it a lot for our tour group that we do, and I've kind of got a little color theme for that, but I don't have it set up in there. I just type in colorful and just see what they have that's colorful that I can make work for me with what we're doing.
Yeah, Canva also has some stock photos. So if you don't have a photo of what you're trying to say or do in your to get that graphic out there, they have some stock photos.
They do. And then, there's so many things you can do with it. And
many different fonts. And in the paid version, there's a whole lot more fonts.
Guys, our intro, I made that in Canva.
Yeah.
I made it in Canva. I downloaded it. update it, go in there, update it. I have a little project folder, made it in Canva, and then I edit these videos in InShot.
Okay. Oh my goodness, there's another app.
We're not going to go into a ton of these apps because...
Wait, no, this is the last one. So talk about InShot.
InShot is a great one for you because you can actually edit really quick things. If you decide that you are going to tour a house and you want to just do a quick walkthrough of it, InShot, throw it on your Reels. Throw it in your Instagram, and I do that a lot. So if you actually look at I have a different YouTube video for my real estate, and I do what I call, and I made a little cover photo for it in Canva that's the same YouTube length, but you can also change it to be like a TikTok or a Reel size, but it just has my picture in it. It says Tours with Tiffany, and it's something that I just throw at the beginning of it. Yeah, and you can do super basic. Just when you're walking through a house, tour a spot, stop. And then go to another one, tour a spot, stop. And then you add all these videos together, do a quick transition, which is the first one. You can apply it to all of them, throw on some music for it, and then download it.
So, okay, let's talk about that. You're doing a tour of a house. This is one of the things that I always maybe it's because I'm old, and I've done enough of these with you to know. You go in, it's like, oh, here's the living room. You do like 5 or 6 seconds of a video and stop. I always thought, well, the best way to do that was to go in and, oh, look, whether you're talking or not, but here's the living room.
Yeah,
and it leads right into the kitchen. No, that's not really how to do it. It makes it a lot more difficult.
It makes it longer. And you need to remember that people's attention spans when they're watching these videos is very short. You can do that if you want, but that's more advanced because you need to speed up the video during that section.
And a little more editing. A little more editing and stuff goes into that.
There's more editing.
This is a simple way to do a house tour. Which again goes on your Reels, could go onto TikTok. It could go. I'm sort of like I go down the rabbit hole of TikTok. A lot of times they'll do one room.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's a great kitchen. Look at this giant stove. They don't say that, but that's what the picture shows.
Yeah.
So Reels. How long are Reels? How long can Reels be?
They can get up there pretty long. Ideally, you probably want to stay under 90 seconds. For
90 seconds, that's a minute and a half. I can take 4 hours to say the intro to this show.
Yes.
So you've got to...
These are very hard for Dale, guys.
Also something you have to practice at.
Yes.
Because as you practice at it, you get better.
And you can do longer format on YouTube.
Yes.
So, you can just do kind of a quick one. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll edit for YouTube, which is the longer tour. And then I'll just take a couple of segments out and then I'll post it and say, for the full one, you can go to YouTube.
Which again, repurpose your content so you're not spending all day editing.
Yeah.
Repurpose it. And you can do that, all day filming. And you don't have to go film the same thing over and over and over again.
Because you can spend some time editing.
Yes.
I made one reel for a little sneak preview of ours for, I think, last week's episode or the week before or something like that. And it took me like 30 minutes because I had to go through and find the segments of us talking that I wanted in it. So, but that's different. That one was...
Yeah, so again, you can spend as much time and as much energy as you want on this. I think everyone should sort of learn how to do this on their own. I have a Tiffany, so I'm kind of lazy about that. But... there are also services out there that will take some of that over for you. They range in price.
Yes.
From $100 to thousands of dollars.
We found one that we're probably going to look into that's a friend of ours uses, and it's not super expensive. And you get 4 to 5 posts a week on Reels, guys.
Yeah.
Reels. But before we get too much into that, there is another app that we want to specifically talk about that is real estate industry specific, and that is MLS Touch.
So, okay, for those of you in our primary listening area and probably several others across the state, but our MLS system just upgraded our app version of being able to look at real estate. They call it MLS Touch. It so beats the heck out of the other version.
It's amazing.
And it's easy to use. It's easy to look stuff up. It's easy to set things up. And the big bad deal of the day is you got to post that stuff out there on that social media. It auto posts.
You can set it up to where it's integrated with your Facebook. And I just did Dale's.
Yes.
on his phone. And while I did it, I actually did a screen recording of it. So I'll probably be posting that to our reels for content on Tiff and Dale. So that's something that you guys can have. But it's so simple to set it up with your logo. And once you set it up, you can actually set up the color profile, set up your logo, and then it creates your own personalized app so that you can share it with your clients. I'm still kind of testing that one, so I'll fill that one out and let you guys know, because previously in the old app, we weren't really notified if they liked something.
Yeah.
So I've sent it out to a few friends, and I'm trying to get them to kind of like things and like just tell me when they like it and see if I get notified, because that was kind of a womp womp feature in the last one. But so far,
Does that mean it sucked?
Yes. So far, I'm really liking it. I do find sometimes when I type an address in for a property that it doesn't really pull up. So I think the MLS numbers are a little more effective on this one, but it does have an option for you to put 10 MLS numbers in at a time. So like when your client sends you a bunch of properties. But back to this. Once you're setting up your logo and your color profile, you can go in and integrate it to your Facebook. And when you integrate it to your Facebook, you can actually select for it to post whenever you have a new listing, whenever you have a price reduction, and whenever you have an open house. You have to go in and specifically select if you want those to do it, and you can actually change whatever you want the verbiage to be. Now, remember when you're doing this, you don't want to be super specific, like check out this open house Saturday from 12 to 2, because that might not be the case every time. You might want to just put like, check out this open house, and be very generic on it, because
that's text that goes out anytime you have an open house.
It's going to automatically send it to your Facebook page. And hey, guess what? Content.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cool feature to have.
And we have so much technology, and again, I'm way more tech savvy than I pretend to be sometimes.
So he makes me do it. That's fine.
Absolutely. No, that part is very true. But with all technology stuff, just teaching classes and stuff, as I've done a lot, you get the basics and then play with it. Mm-hmm. It's not just about going to classes, because I think classes are much more effective. I know there's tons of Canva classes, tons of InShot classes, or iMovie. iMovie is another app that does the same thing as InShot, primarily working with iPhones. And if you go in there and you're a total dumb butt and have never even downloaded the app, which many realtors do,
they will come to the class and haven't even downloaded the app.
And when I, as the instructor who have really good content and all of that, to say, hey, look, here's what you do. You've got to have a basic knowledge, in my opinion, before you get there, unless they say, hey, this is a class, we're going to start with downloading. Not many of them do.
That is one of the hardest things about technology classes, guys, because I've taught them before too. I taught an InShot class, which I might do a couple more here, but the instructor's having to teach to a variety of
huge
levels.
And this has nothing to do with age or experience.
Doesn't.
It's not just the old farts out there like me that are like coming in without being signed on.
There's people my age that don't really know how to use it. And I know how to use it just because that's kind of my thing. I'm into that kind of stuff.
Well, and we've practiced.
I've practiced. And so again, I've gotten better at it because I use it.
Yeah, and a lot of the things, I've always found a lot of maybe it's the way your brain thinks even, they transfer over.
Yes.
And I'm not talking just social media, but I'm talking social media, the camera programs, etc. So get out there and play with this stuff. Let me throw in one thing that used to be a horrible fear for a lot of people that were even older than me. You're not going to break anything.
No.
It's not going to lose everything that can't be recovered.
And I think another thing that people are afraid of is, what if it looks bad and I post it?
Oh, yeah.
Post it anyway. It's going to get lost in 3 days.
Absolutely.
Less than that. Post it anyway.
Yeah.
You just got to practice. You just have to get in the rhythm of making it and posting it.
Yeah, and I promise you, my favorite saying, done is better. One of my favorite sayings, I have a lot. Done is better than perfect. And if you continue to do it,
you'll get better and
you figure out the value in it, you'll get better and better and better at it. I'll use Tiffany and I as an example. We used to do Facebook Lives. We're doing this now. Guess what? We got better at our Facebook Lives, then we moved up to like recording and doing all that. Guess what? I think we're getting better at it. If you agree with me, make a comment under there. And if you don't, just keep your mouth shut.
I could say we're getting better at it. Anyway. I could say we're getting better at it because it's less editing on my part.
There you go. So you guys go have a great day. There's lots of tech out there. Keep looking at it. Keep experimenting. Okay, I've got to end with this.
One
I'm
more.
sorry. This is not technology. This isn't anything. One of the reasons realtors, I'm talking to you, which I know you're the ones that mostly listen to this. One of the reasons that realtors fail is because they get in here and they stop learning.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's any industry, really.
Well, yeah, but we'll go with realtors. Expectations when they start are wrong. They think this is easy.
Yes.
Well, they find out that it's not, and the ones that succeed learn. Well, you got to learn the contracts. You got to learn this. You got to learn that. But you also have to learn how to market. You got to learn how to communicate with people. You've got to learn, and I promise you.
You have to learn how to run a business.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, absolutely. So you've got to learn how to do all of that stuff. And I have been a constant learner for 31 years of everything.
Yeah.
Starting with a plain paper fax machine, we got that in my office, all the way up to email, PDFs, and where I can send stuff and it gets to people immediately. That's just on the technology side.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep learning. I give you a tip. Go and, again, play with stuff. Play with the new stuff. There are ways
Your
to learn all of
phones
that.
have so much capability.
Oh, you
to
do,
use.
yeah.
You can scan a document. You can scan a survey directly from your phone. You do not need an app for that anymore.
And I've heard all along, if some of y'all remember when Ronald Reagan was president, we have more power in our phones today than he had to run the entire country. That was just like, if I remember right,
Take that and
early
run with
80s. Think about that. So play with your technology and stuff. If you like what we do here,
Please go ahead and go to our YouTube and subscribe, guys. I'll go ahead and put a little thing there. I'm trying to get better about that with editing. That's more work than just doing what I normally do. But go ahead and please subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We're going to be we post reels on Instagram a lot that don't always go straight to Facebook without me actually having to post them to Facebook. So follow us on Instagram. We post a lot of fun stuff on there, even us being silly and doing voiceovers with Snoop Dogg. And our Facebook as well. So just follow us and like and subscribe, and please just let us know if you want us to keep doing this, because if we're not getting a lot of feedback, we probably aren't going to do it much. It's a lot of work.
that's what Tiffany thinks. Oh, yeah,
So-
she does all the hard stuff.
Dale just comes and talks.
I do.
His part's done after this.
It's my skill. Hey, you guys, go out there, have a great week, and we will see you next Friday.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.